You are listening to Sprint or Die Radio, delivering the knowledge on all things speed training, coaching development, and life lessons. Passion perpetuates purpose. Here is your host, Hunter Charneski.
All right, welcome back to Sprint or Die Radio. I am your host, Hunter Charneski, and today we're talking about bridging the gap between linear speed and sport. Because if I were a betting man, I would say that you are wanting a simple, effective, and safe method to coaching agility the right way. But there's a problem, and the problem is yours truly. I didn't lay out the process for you in last week's episode. You still got a lot of guesswork involved, and that's on me. That's my fault. You know the big rocks that we discussed: frontal plane control, get back to acceleration, and 50% volume reduction in comparison to linear speed work. And without moving these big rocks aside to see the little details, you can get trapped in your own head and be a self-sabotager when it comes to programming and coaching agility. And I'm sharing this with you because it's my belief that this stuff shouldn't be secret, right? Why keep it a secret? Because I know how you feel. I've been there. Agility is a different animal. It is. We talked about last week in the episode. It truly is a bridge between linear speed and sport, right? It's that dichotomy where it does need to be addressed, but not so much. Okay? And if you didn't listen to last week's episode, you might be scratching your head, wondering, why do you, Hunter, deserve to have an opinion on all things agility, right? Why don't I just turn off this episode right now and listen to Lee Taft or Lauren Landau, some of the more prominent figures in terms of agility? And the reason is Speed Stratum. It's going to be my new book, and some of the early adopters are out there, right? Like Thomas Bose, like Caleb Lindsay, like Ryan Connor, who are seeing results with it. They're addressing agility and speed, as well as quickness, in their facilities, getting buy-in from their athletes, seeing results, and their businesses are growing as a result of it. Okay? But it's not my intention to sit here and pivot and become the guru or the agility authority. I'm only trying to offer you the same solution that has worked for me and others like you. So let's just clear the air on that. You guys know me. I still think running fast in a straight line is the shit. Okay? But as far as bridging the gap, right? How do we find that common middle ground? Or more specifically, how do we actually coach agility, right? So the big rocks we talked about last week: frontal plane control, getting back to acceleration, and the volume reduction by 50%. Okay? As far as the plan to do just that, or how you would layer your agility portion of your movement for the workout, I'd like to first start with a small story. So I've seen Lauren Landau speak twice. Once at the Physical Preparation Summit in the fall of 2016, and then in the spring of 2017 at the Play Speed Mastermind in Denver. And Lauren has a slide in every presentation he gives where there's a car driving down a road and there's guardrails on the side of the road. And he asked the question, what is keeping this car on the road? To which inevitably somebody will raise their hand and say, the guardrails, coach. And that's not true. What's keeping the car on the road is the driver. Okay? So what the hell does that have to do with anything in terms of what we're talking about with agility? With linear speed, we are building Ferraris. Right? Athletes love to be called Ferraris. And they love to feel fast too. Right? Speed is an embodied belief before it is an action. I'm a firm believer in that. But we have to make them really good drivers of this horsepower that they've got, right? Be able to make turns, be able to absorb and reproduce force without smashing into the guardrails, so to speak. Right? So what Lauren is getting at is they've got to have an extremely effective and efficient neuromuscular system. That's what the driver is in the car. Okay? So how do you do that? So whenever you're going to begin your agility portion of your workout, I think there's 3 things that you can do either on that same day, or you can drip them and hit on one phase at a time over the course of a mesocycle, right? Weeks, in other words. And the first part would be to allow the athletes to hit position. And how would you do just that? I'm a huge believer in bands. In the band work when it comes to agility is not necessarily a means of just providing resistance for resistance sake, right? Kind of like resisted sprinting, okay, where we're allowing the athletes to hit better angles and improve strength and increase the acceleration phase, all that good stuff. When it comes to agility, the band will automatically, without us having to say anything, force the athlete to get in a better position to move laterally, absorb and reproduce force in the frontal plane. Whether they're performing a lateral shuffle, a crossover, a hybrid, a hip turn, okay? Throwing the band around their waist and pulling them towards you, or the opposite of the way they want to go, right? So if you're pulling them right and they're trying to shuffle to the left, without you having even to say anything, they are going to widen their base so that their feet are outside their shoulders and their knees are inside of their feet, creating a nice shin angle to then push the ground away from them, right? So they can have that nice lateral gait cycle that Lee Taft talks about. Okay? So where I talked about the banded resisted sprints, right? And we're moving in a linear fashion, right? We're trying to increase strength. We're trying to hit better angles. We're trying to increase the acceleration phase, all that good stuff. When we're placing a band around the kids for the agility stuff, you're literally just trying to save them from themselves, right? So allow them to hit the position first with the band work. So it's kind of almost backwards in a way, right? So before you even do anything, you telling me to band a kid? Well, yeah, actually I am, right? Because the resistance that the band provides, she'll feel it tugging at her hips, right? She's trying to go left and you're pulling her right. Well, she's automatically going to, get lower as if she's standing in a 3-foot high room, right? And her angles are going to take care of themselves. All because, neuromuscularly speaking, her brain doesn't like the fact that you're trying to pull her one way and she's trying to go the other, right? So allowing the athletes to hit position first with a band is great, okay? 2 sets of 5 for a single shuffle, right? 1 shuffle at a time. Set, hit, do a shuffle with a band resistance. Set, hit, do a shuffle, right? 2 sets of 5 each way is phenomenal, right? And then you come back next set, or when you go into the next segment, and you make it a double shuffle, right? 2 shuffles, boom, boom, right away. Hitting that lateral gait cycle with the band resistance, okay? Same thing would apply for a crossover, right? Or a lateral run. Whichever vernacular you want to use, it doesn't really matter, okay? But again, a single lateral run, 2 sets of 5, right?
You are listening to Sprint or Die Radio with Hunter Charneski.
And then do a double, okay? And then once you've done that with them, okay, then you can allow them to attack the position, all right? So the first step is allow them to hit position with the help of the band, providing the resistance necessary for them to get low, right? Be in a 3-foot high room, have those nice angles to then push the ground away, and then take the band away, again, either if it's that same day or the next week, okay, in your training block, then allow them to attack the position, right? Now they've gotten the confidence, they know what it feels like to stand in a 3-foot high room, right? To stay in the tunnel, as Lee Taft says. Now let them attack it without any resistance at all, right? Attack it, attack it, attack it. So now they can do the single shuffle without the band, the double shuffle without the band, the single and double crossovers without the band, right? And you can also begin to play in with more reactionary means as well. Having a partner in front of them, right? On the first hit, Fox and the Hound, right? The Fox begins the drill. They're shuffling, and then whenever the Fox wants to, turn and burst into a sprint. Boom, right? Now they're attacking things. Okay? Fight or flight in an agility modality. Boom. Love it. Okay? Hit position with the band. Take the band off so now they feel free. Now they know how to, and then let them attack it. Right? Let them get back to hindbrain. Right? Do their thing. Just get out of the way. Let the athletes be just that. Athletes. Okay? Again, I'm vanilla, so I'm always going to do 2 sets of 5 each way, right? And then maybe 2 sets of Fox and the Hound. Each person is the Fox twice, each person is the Hound twice. Again, I don't really care how you guys do it, right? I'm always... Execution has 2 best friends, and their names are simplicity and transparency. So whatever you want to do from a drill standpoint, a Fox and the Hound standpoint, a chaotic standpoint, it better be extremely simple and transparent if you want the kids to execute at a high level. Okay? Lastly, once they've hit position and now they're attacking position, let's see if they can own those positions. Okay? And what do I mean by that? So level 1, hit position was band resisted. Level 2 was attack position, no band, right? More chaotic partner if you want, right? Fox and the Hound means. And level 3 is band assisted. Okay? So now you're pulling them towards you, right? So if they're doing a lateral shuffle to the right, you're also pulling them to the right. Okay? Talk about owning position. You're going to find out real quick if they know how to own their position, right? When you're pulling them the way that they're trying to go. Okay? They're going to find the proper angles to get stiff quickly. Okay? Again, nothing crazy. Does not need to be anything super sexy. 2x5 again for each means. 2x5 single lateral shuffle, right? You're pulling them towards you, right? Just tell them to stop before you, right? Put your foot out in front. Put a cone in front of you so don't hit the cone. Right? Set, hit, boom, get stiff. Right? Then you can link 2 bands up together. Do a double shuffle towards you. Right? You're pulling them towards you. Okay? Now, this is not overspeed training. Okay? Do not get me started on that fucking subject. All right? That'll be another podcast entirely. Okay? But I do believe there is some value in learning how to own your position with the band assisted work. Okay? Because what you'll see is once the kids learn how to hit position, right? And then they go to attack position, okay? There may be, not always, right? But there may be a time or two where they look like they're water skiing, right? Especially when you get to the Fox and the Hound or the partner mirror drill stuff, right? The person that's mirroring the Fox or the Hound that's mirroring the Fox, right? Once they go to break off into a sprint, right, you might see the hound or whoever's chasing, right? They might get lost in the shuffle, no pun intended, right? When they try to put their foot in the ground, they kind of sway, or they look like they're water skiing before getting back to the way that they're trying to go. Okay? Well, that sounds a lot like sport, doesn't it? Right? So when you put the band around them and allow them to own position, right, to get stiff quickly, to overcome momentum, right, to stop inertia, I think you're setting them up really, really well for what happens on the field. Okay? And again, not turn it into a fucking shit show like you see in some of this stuff on Instagram. Right? Super simple. You can do the same drill. You can do a single lateral shuffle 3 different ways and get enormous benefit out of it. You can 2x5 with a band, 2x5 without a band, 2x5 with band assistance. Then you can call it a day. Right? Everything else after that is gravy. If you want to throw in doubles or partner drills, sweet. Okay? But again, the simple stuff is always the most powerful.
Interested in working with Hunter remotely or in person? Email hunter@charneskipower.com to apply.
Right? And we don't need, so I mean, don't get me too fired up about this, but I know I'm going to field a question in my DMs or on my email immediately after this podcast is released and talked about, well, what about rehearsal and reaction? Right? What about rehearsal and reaction in terms of agility? Closed and open drills. And my response would be, I don't think that's really your concern, nor is it your job. Right? I don't think that we need to look at an agility program and be like, well, I don't know about this. Right? Doesn't have any rehearsal reactivity in it. Okay, well, rehearsal, reactivity, open, closed. Where are they going to get more of that than they can handle? Training camp, practice, scrimmaging, games, right? All the drills that they go through in their base groups or individual, those are all rehearsed drills, right? When they go to 7-on-7 or small-sided games or 11-on-11, okay, that's reactionary. That's open, okay? So you're going to get all the rehearsal and reaction open and closed you want in the fucking sport. Okay? But what you're not going to get is the quality that you provide when you allow them to hit position, attack position, and own position. Period. Amen. Okay? So, if you have any questions, please, I'm always open. I love talking about this stuff. Feel free to hit me up if you want to schedule a call with me to further discuss this as far as ways that I can help you with your agility program. Go to my website, charneskipower.com, fill out the consult form, and I'll be in touch. Also, I'll put this in the show notes. My new book is on its way out, Speed Stratum, Layering Ground Contact Qualities. I'll put the waiting list link for that in the link in the show notes as well, so you can be sure to be notified the minute that is available. Because here's what I want for you as a coach and for your athletes. I want you to make them great drivers of the Ferrari that you're building for them, right? I want you to give them the tools that will allow them to Eurostep fools in the court, right? Ellery talked to me one day about how she Eurosteps them in the court. I had no idea what that meant until I looked it up. I'm like, oh, that's pretty sick, right? So I want you to be able to give them the tools to do that, right? And then make you feel good about your agility acumen. That's what I want, okay? I don't think I'm asking too much for that. That's what I want for you guys, okay? Because if you don't, then you're gonna have athletes that can't stay on the road, right? So to speak. Their neuromuscular system ain't great. They're gonna hit the guardrails. They're gonna break, right? So they're gonna struggle with closing and evading. All right? And then you're going to continue to spin your wheels as a coach. And I don't want that. Right? Like I said last time, agility can be difficult to program for, but it doesn't have to be. Right? So allow me to help you. I want you to go from being a self-sabotager to allowing you to bridge the proverbial gap between speed and sport. That's all I got for you guys today. Hope you enjoyed it. Talk to you soon. In the meantime, passion perpetuates purpose, sprint or die.
This week's episode of Sprint or Die Radio has now come to an end. Make sure to set your podcatcher now and never miss another second. And remember, passion perpetuates purpose. Join us again next time.